So in early 2026, Apple did something nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. They got rid of the familiar Plus model and gave us this, the iPhone Air. And let me tell you, it's the biggest, most talked about shakeup to the iPhone lineup in probably a decade, and it has absolutely split the tech worlds right down the middle. So that's the big question we're tackling today, right? Is this thing a genuine innovation, or is it just a huge compromise? Are we looking at the elegant, sleek future of smartphones? Or is this a classic case of style over substance, a device that asks you to give up way too much for a pretty design?
All right, let's get right into it. Part 1, the cost of thinness. And that title really says it all. It's a bold new design, but it comes with a very sharp trade-off. We're going to start with the most obvious thing about this phone, the one thing you just can't miss.
Yeah, just look at that number for a second, 5.6 millimeters. That is insanely thin. To give you some perspective, that's a full 30% thinner than the regular iPhone 17. We're talking by a huge margin, the thinnest iPhone Apple has ever made, period.
And this right here, this is the whole debate in a nutshell. On one hand, you've got the promise, this gorgeous futuristic look, right? That polished titanium frame looks amazing. But then you've got the problem. People who've actually held it say it feels, well, almost too light. And that's sparking some pretty serious fears about its durability. Is this thing gonna bend?
Okay, next up, the one-lens gamble. The subtitle here is perfect. Can software truly replace hardware? Because that extreme thinness we were just talking about, it leads directly to what is probably the most shocking, most controversial decision Apple made with this phone, the camera system.
And it really makes you wonder, right? We're talking about a premium phone. So why on earth does it only have one single camera lens on the back? I mean, the standard iPhone 17 has 2, the Pro has 3. It just feels like a huge step backward, doesn't it?
Well, Apple's answer comes down to 2 words, photonic engine. So what is it? Think of it as the super advanced computational system. It takes that single 48-megapixel lens and, through some seriously clever AI, what they're calling spatial processing, it manages to pull off things that used to require extra lenses. We're talking 2x optical quality zoom, macro shots, all from one piece of hardware.
So here's the bottom line, the real tension here. Apple's claim is simple. One lens can do it all, because our AI is just that good. But the reality for a lot of people? For a phone that costs $999, it just feels like a downgrade. So the verdict is pretty clear. This is a massive gamble, betting that software smarts can beat out physical glass.
All right, so with all these trade-offs, that brings us to our next section, power versus practicality. You really start to wonder, where does this thing actually fit in? How does it find its place in the lineup? Seriously, where does the Air fit? I mean, who is this phone actually for? It seems to be stuck in this really awkward middle ground. If you're out shopping for a new iPhone, it presents a genuinely tough choice when you put it up against the standard iPhone 17 with a much more capable 17 Pro. Let's just break it down with this table. Look at the numbers. The Air is $999. That's $200 more than the base iPhone 17, but you get one less camera. Then it's only $100 cheaper than the iPhone 17 Pro, which has that awesome triple camera setup. The one big thing it has going for it, its ace in the hole, is the chip. It's got the A19 Pro, the same as the top tier model, so you're getting pro-level power just in that crazy thin design.
And of course, that super thin design leads to another huge dilemma, the battery. You can't cheat physics. A 5.6 millimeter body just can't fit a massive battery. So what's Apple's solution? Well, it's a 1-2 punch. First, they developed a new high-density battery chemistry to pack more power in. And second, there's a new MagSafe battery pack made just for the Air. The result? Apple says you get all-day battery life. And for some, that might be true. But power users, they're finding it really struggles to keep up with the Pro models.
So, let's bring it all home. Our final verdict. After we've looked at the design, the camera, and its weird spot in the market, what does the iPhone Air truly represent? What's the big picture here?
Well, if you listen to Apple, their vision is pretty clear. John Turnus, their head of hardware engineering, put it this way: pro performance in an unbelievably thin and light design. So they're targeting a very specific person, someone who wants all that pro power, but in a package that basically disappears in your hand. It's the best of both worlds, if those are the 2 worlds you care about.
Which leaves us with this big, final question, doesn't it? Is the iPhone Air a fashion statement, or is it a tool? Is this a glimpse into a future where our devices become these almost invisible pieces of hardware, just pure screen and software? Or is it something else? A beautiful, niche luxury product for people who will always choose style over raw utility? Ultimately, I guess that choice is yours.